You're listening to Guts and Grind with Siju and Sajan, making the real estate journey accessible to anyone.
All right, guys, this show is a little bit different. We are here at Bean Here Coffee Roasters and Lab. It's a new spot in Arcola. We're kind of excited, and it's also different because we're actually face to face. It's our first episode where it's not on Zoom. You can actually touch each other. It's crazy. Today's episode, we're going to talk about finding deals. It's just a difficult thing sometimes, especially nowadays with COVID and everything. It's a little bit hard to find deals, and so we're going to talk about some ways to get it done. Of course, like having a lender is important. Make sure you have your money straight and you have your down payment lined up and all that stuff. But the next step is finding the deal. But before we dive in, Siju, how's life?
Dude, life's good, man. See my boy in person now.
In person, man.
You know, we can at least talk and engage. That's always good. But
yeah.
Dude, everything's been good, man. I did my last home project, which is a little renovation project. So completed that.
Is someone in there? Do you have a tenant?
Got somebody in there.
Nice.
So,
that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround again.
That's good, dude.
The market is demanding it, man. Rents are going crazy. People are looking for places to live. So it was solid. It just timing, everything worked out well, and yeah, luckily, fixed it up and got somebody in there. So
cool, man.
That's locked up, and just trying to figure things out. But other than that, taping here on a rainy day in a coffee shop, which I can't complain.
I gotta say, it's brand new. It's a year old. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Like, this place is awesome. If you're in the Arcola, Texas area, it's not so far from Siena or anything like that. It's like a suburb of Houston.
Yeah.
If you're here, you should come check it out. It's pretty dope. But let's dive in. Let's get into the topic. So before we talk about finding a deal, we should discuss what a deal is. And so I guess, what are the parameters? Like, what do you consider a deal?
For me, again, I think we reiterate this a lot on our podcast, and it's the importance of understanding where specifically is narrowing down the different the metrics, right? What area are you searching for? What's your price point? What's the layout of the house that you're looking for, or whatever building? It doesn't have to be a house. It could be apartments, whatever. I think that's going to be your first area of focus, making sure you drill down on those specific key areas. That way, because the market is so huge and vast, right? You're looking at thousands of homes, thousands of pieces of real estate. The best way to kind of narrow it down is you have a nice little cookie cutter area of focus that you're looking at, and that'll help narrow down all the riffraff that's out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's very key and important.
I'll just to piggyback on that. If you don't narrow down, like Sid was saying earlier, like, there's so many different avenues. You could do apartments, you could do duplexes, you could do single family homes, you could do commercial buildings. There's so many different things when it comes to real estate. And if you don't narrow down, what are you really going to look after? Like, what are you looking for whenever you're trying to find a deal, right? So narrowing it down, knowing that I'm looking for a single family home, 3 to 4 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, this amount of square footage in this certain area, that really hones it in to say, this is specifically what I'm looking for. And it just helps you not waste time, because it's easy to waste time. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm searching for properties, I love it. I love looking around, but it's a real time killer when you're trying to find a deal. So when you're honed in on it, you put the right filters in, you know exactly what you're looking for, and it gives you the ability to have, like, your finger on the pulse, right?
Yep. To
say, like, oh, this new property came out in this area, it's specific, I know it's new, and I know it's a good deal because I've been studying it for weeks or months or whatever it is. So yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, hone in on what your specific criteria is when you're looking for properties.
So to add on to what Saj said, it's important to be laser focused, and I think Saj gave a few of those examples, and I'll be outright. So what I look for in a house is a single family home is at least a 3 bedroom to 2 bath configuration, because if you're talking about any kind of mid-sized family, that's usually what commands out of rental property for that kind of family, right? So anybody with 2 kids, 3 kids, they'll need at least a couple bedrooms, couple bathrooms, and at least 1,500 square foot house. Those are great rental properties to actually purchase, and those are the kind of metrics I use when I'm looking for properties, and so that helps. It narrows down the market, helps you focus. helps you concentrate on those kind of pockets and those areas where they have those kind of homes. You're not looking at the 3,000 square foot house, and so that helps you narrow down what you're looking for. You're concentrated on it, and it makes the search just so much easier.
Right, for sure. Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. And again, going back to the whole pocket of like what you're looking for, I'm kind of in that same boat. 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, between like 1,200 to 2,000 square feet. Something that's a good starter home is ideal. Like, I like the idea of having young families in there, because if their kids are in the school system, they'll probably not want to move and they'll stay longer. Like little things like that. Again, your parameters could be different, but it's just important to set parameters, figure out what you want to do, and then go after that. Because like I said before, there's a ton of distractions. Like, oh, maybe I should buy an apartment, maybe I should do a duplex, and all of those work, but you have to focus on one thing. Find the one thing that you're going to be an expert at, get into that niche, and then your search becomes a lot better. So that's basically what you determine what the deal is for you, right? Once you do that, I think the idea is now, how do we find that deal? Like, what sources do we use to do that? So there's a MLS, multiple listing service. Typically that's used with realtors.
But it's open to anybody. MLS, and they have those in every major city.
Right.
There's a listing for basically all the real estate listings. It's the universal listing technology that basically realtors use, but it's accessible to everybody.
So like, for example, in Houston, we have HAR.com. Houston Area Realtors, is that what it stands for? I don't know. But it basically shows all the listings of houses and properties around town, and give you all the information on each property. So I use that very frequently. Like, that's kind of like my main guy. And so there's also Zillow, there's also Redfin. There's a bunch of different websites that you can
Realtor.com.
Realtor.com. So there's a bunch of things like that where there's listings of properties. So you could do that route where you're just searching on your own online. Also, if you build relationships with realtors, I mean, they're the people that have their finger on the pulse. Like, if you just get connected with the realtor, they might be able to be in a position to say, hey, this property hasn't hit the MLS yet, but I know it's coming up for sale. Are you interested? So it's good to build connections with that, right? Where if you just know enough realtors and you tell them, hey, specifically, because you don't want to be a burden to them either, right? If you tell them straight up, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house, they'll know, oh, Siju's that guy that's looking for this specific house. When that house comes, who's going to get the first call? It'll be Siju, right?
And speaking from a realtor perspective, as a realtor, you can actually set certain search parameters and queries and have that catered specifically for whoever they're looking for. So if someone's looking for a specific, house in a specific area, we can set those queries and basically just send auto reports to Sajan or whoever's asking for those, and so they get a daily listing of, hey, what's new, what's popping up in the area. So those are available.
Right. So it
from
goes,
a realtor perspective. So.
Right. No, that's awesome. So it goes back to like being very laser focused, being very specific, and saying this is what I want, and making it easier for your team to get you what you need, right? And so we talked about MLS. We talked about working with realtors. There's also wholesalers that you could use. Wholesalers are basically people that are going out looking for distressed properties before it hits MLS, before it hits the market. They're saying, hey, they make a deal. Let's say, for example, Johnny's trying to get rid of his house, and Johnny says, all right, I want to sell it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'll sell. And then the wholesaler says, all right, I'll buy it from you for $90,000. And then the wholesaler will go back and say, all right, I'm going to sell it to my list of clients, and I'm going to mark it up for $100,000. So that wholesaler makes a $10,000 profit, but the house actual value could be like $150,000, right? So it's still a deal for everybody. Johnny gets to get rid of the house, the wholesaler gets $10,000 quick money, and then the investor gets a under market value property to be their investment. So I'm actually currently working with the wholesaler right now on a property that I'm trying to get. And it's been great so far. Like, we haven't locked it in yet, but the fact that they have a list of properties that they can send to me every day, and I could like filter through that to say, hey, is this the one? It's just another good resource to have. And the last thing that I have is friends and family. I'm a huge advocate, even this podcast is a way to tell my family and friends and everyone, I am interested in real estate, and if you have a property, or if you know of a property, I want to know about it. I want to know so I could at least try my luck,
And I think we mentioned it a lot, Sajan, and the thing is, as you get more and more engrossed in the real estate game, and as you're buying more properties, people know, right? Like you deal with the same people over and over again. The realtor knows you're serious about it. You know, bought 1 or 2 homes. Your financer knows that. Everybody around you, and everybody has connections because they're dealing with people in the industry. So,
Right.
you know what? Even if it's your insurance guy, my insurance guy actually, you know, he goes, "Hey, I know this guy that is basically selling investment properties. Why don't you reach out and give him a call?" So, I mean, that's just a contact that was made through my insurance guy.
Right, right.
So there's as you get engrossed in it, you're gonna get more and more contacts. It's just like networking. It's all about who you know and how you kind of work that system.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally. And I think it doesn't hurt, right? Just like the whole story with the insurance guy. Like, clearly he knew, the insurance guy knew that he's in the real estate game, but because he put himself out there, he was able to potentially get a lead, right? And if that lead led to a purchase, great. But if not, you know, what's the harm in that, right?
Yep.
So yeah, those are basically the methods that we use to find deals. Do y'all have any thoughts? Are there any ideas that you have where, oh, this is how I find deals? Please leave it in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, because we just want to know. Again, like, this is an open forum. This ain't just us talking to you guys, but we want to hear from you as well, so we can learn as well. So
100%. And just to, I guess, leave off with a final thought is, you know, it may be slow kind of ramping up. It's like anything else. It's like a business. You got to consider this your business. You know, it may be slow finding those first and second deals, but then after it gets going, you know, you'll get yourself on a rhythm, and it gets easier because you know the processes, you know who to deal with,
Right.
And those are the hurdles that'll be long gone behind you. You know, so
Yeah.
stay focused on it, and I think that's just the main thing to take away.
for sure, build systems. I mean, I think that's kind of a good takeaway, because even talking about knowing what a deal is, it's essentially building a system around what do you consider a deal.
Yep.
Like, what do you want as the deal that you want in your pocket? What price point?
Yep.
What type of house and stuff? So you're building that system, and you're able to present it to your realtor, or you're able to type it into the MLS to say, hey, these are the filters that I want. So build the systems, and, you know, keep going forward. And again, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you think about this type of setup. I know before we've been doing Zoom.
Yeah.
Do you like this? Does it sound okay? Like, let us know what you think. But yeah, thanks guys. See y'all
Like
later.
and subscribe.
Thanks for listening to Guts and Grind with Siju and Sajan. Be sure to tune in next time.